if you're not there already. Popping yourself up onto a cushion or a block if you need to. And then I'm going to have my hands just onto my thighs and my knees, and I've decided to cross my legs. If crossing your legs is not comfortable for you, you can do all of these exercises with the legs in whatever position is easiest. So either just out in front of you or bent, just as long as you can sit up nice and tall and feel that you could sit here for, you know, 5-10 minutes or so. Okay, so when we're sat, especially if we're on our block, just make sure you're sat on both sit bones so you're not sort of rocking to one side, and feel the shoulders come down away from the ears. Like we do when we're standing, we're still thinking of that spinal length. So tucking the chin in slightly, raising the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and then nice and grounding through the sit bones. So we're nice and long through the spine, and our core is already working a little bit just to draw in and support us sitting here so that we don't slump back. So we're trying to resist that slump. We're trying to sit nice and tall off our sit bones. Okay, let's just take some shoulder rolls to begin with. So inhale to bring the shoulders up and exhale to circle them down. So we'll just do nice and basic. We'll just do 6 either way. And if you bring that breath work into it, just so we can get hold of the breath this morning. And then 6 coming forwards. That's it. You might want to take your hands off your thighs and circle your arms if that feels nicer. Otherwise, just keep them down onto the legs. One more time. That's it. And then just give those shoulders a little shake. Just shrug them and just let them and wobble them side to side. That's it. Let's just take a gentle head and neck flexion and extension. So we're just going to gently soften, chin down in towards the chest. Take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're just going to gently lift. It's not throwing the head back, it's just a little lift. And then again, one folding in, chin to chest. And then looking up. And bring the head back to center, and we're just going to rotate right and left 4 times. So exhaling on the rotation, inhaling center. And just remind yourself that even though we're seated, don't just turn off the core. Still think of sitting up taller off your sit bones from the crown of the head. So we've still got some activation, even though we think, oh, we're sat on the floor, so we can completely relax. That's it. And then let's incline right ear to right shoulder. Take a couple of breaths in, that lateral flexion of the head and the neck. And then come over the other way. Good, and head back to center. Okay, take your arms down by your side, turning the palms of the hands up, just like we do when we're standing. We're going to inhale and imagine someone is lifting you up from above. So you really feel the distance between your sit bones and your shoulders really lengthen. And then exhale, press down. So inhale again, imagine someone gets hold of your fingertips and lengthens you off your sit bones. Try and be lighter on your block or on the mat. Exhale down, 3 more. So we go inhale up. And exhale, soften. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen up. Really sit off those sit bones, support with the core to help you lift off. And 1 more time, inhale to lengthen up. Feel that nice length in the waist predominantly, and exhale down. Good. Just take a couple of shoulder rolls. Okie dokie. Take the hands this time, and we're going to do the same flexion and extension with the neck, but we're going to support with the hands. So link the hands behind, not the back of the head, link them behind sort of the nape of the neck, so that the fingers are just touching sort of that bony bit at the back, that occipital region of the head. Elbows are out, shoulders are soft. We're going to fold the chin down towards the chest, but just round slightly further forward this time, applying a gentle amount of pressure with the hands. Take a breath in there. This time lift up, continue to lift up, but keep the hands there so you really feel the hands are supporting that movement. And just 1 more time, so fold down. This time you've got a little bit of pressure from the hands to maybe create a little bit more of a forward fold. And then coming up. That's it. Bring the eye line to center, and then this time we're going to, on an exhale, rotate head and body round to the right, and then we're going to breathe in, and on our next exhale we're going to bring chin to chest And we're going to curve down towards our right thigh. I'm going to breathe in there, we're going to breathe out to come back up, and then come back to centre and do it all to the left. So inhale in the centre, exhale, rotate to the left, inhale, hold, exhale, curve forwards from there so that you are a little bit more diagonal in that forwards fold now. And with the hands on the back of the head, you might feel that stretch coming down between the shoulder blades and into the back. So just do it one more time either way. Exhale, rotating, inhale, hold, exhale, fold forwards, really folding belly button into spine, tucking the tailbone underneath you to get that nice stretch, and one more time the other way. So we're rotating, we're inhaling, we're exhaling, we're folding. We're coming back up and we're releasing down. Good. Okay, just place the hands out to the side. We're going to do side flexion with arm extension. So let's keep the left hand planted. We're going to inhale to take up the right arm and exhale, soften over. Okay, I want you to hold this stretch at your comfortable level of side bend. And as the right arm is stretching over, anchor down through the right hip the other way. So really make your right sit bone and bum cheek really heavy. So you've got that opposite stretch. If you want to, you can look up to the inside of your top arm. But if that's too much strain on the neck, keep your eye line forwards or down. Take a couple of breaths, really opening between right shoulder and right hip. And then come up and out. And go over the other side when you're ready. So soften into that elbow, arm comes overhead, but don't let that hip and bottom lift off. Keep that same side anchored down. Get into the position that feels enough for you, and then you could rotate and look up to the inner elbow on that top arm. Take a couple of breaths. Make sure both sit bones are still planted, and do that one more time either way. So just in your own time, don't worry if you've not changed yet. So again, you're taking hip on the same side, away from shoulder on the same side, really opening up through the side body. Supporting hand is staying bent, or elbow staying bent, should I say. That's it, and one more time the other way. So I know that I don't get half as much flexion going this way for some reason. That's it, so really anchor the sit bone, look up towards the inner arm, take a couple of nice breaths, and then coming up from there. Okay, link the fingers together, and let's just press the hands up towards the ceiling. Don't worry if those elbows won't fully extend. We're just pressing the fingers away and feeling that lift and lengthen in the spine again. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to round through the core, bring your chin into chest, and we're going to draw the arms forward. So it's as if we're pushing, push me away, push the computer away. Round your back, breathe in. Exhale, let's reach up again. Soften the shoulders, but lengthen in the waist. Inhale there, exhale, round. Really curve the body as we slightly lean back. Chin to chest, and then coming up, release those hands. Now this time we're going to put the fingers like this, but behind us. So we're going to link our fingers behind our tailbone. So shoulders are down, and then from there, I'm just going to face the side. You are going to extend your arms just directly out. So not high, just extend them as much as comfortable. Then I want you to bring them round to your right hand side. So both hands are linked, and then you bend the elbows and bring them into the right hand side. Once your hands are in the right hand side, just close down that right elbow. So both elbows are backwards. Okay, and then from there, we're going to tilt right ear to right shoulder. So we're going to open up, possibly through the front of this left shoulder, see what stretch we get there, and just do it over the other side and see if that's any different. You might get a deeper stretch this way. So keep the hands in the same place, but tilt the head the other way. Breathe, bring the head to center, take the hands back down into center, then this time bend your elbows and take them into the left hand side. Tuck that left elbow in. On a breath out, let's take the head over one way. Keep the shoulders soft, the breath nice and gentle. Coming up through the center, go over the other way. So this way might be a little bit more intense. Just be careful on that range of movement with the shoulders. Just be gentle. And then coming up, take the arms down and just give them all your arms a shake. Okie dokie. So let's come into our 4-point kneeling position. So we're going to come off our block, if we've been on one. Okay. All right, so we're just going to do 4 cat and cow stretches to mobilise out through the spine. Whether the toes are flat or tucked under, that's up to you. So just soften the elbows. From a neutral spine, we're going to breathe in and lower the belly button down towards the mat. Look forwards and soften the shoulders. As we breathe out, we're going to tuck up into our lovely angry cat curvature. Tucking the head in, tucking your bottom in, breathing into that space you've created between your shoulder blades, and then exhale down again. So let's do 3 more of those, just in your own time, mobilising the spine into both of those opposing curvatures. Good, 2 more. And down, last one. Good, okay, slightly different stretch. We did this one on Wednesday. We are going to tuck the toes under, soften the elbows, keep the shoulders down. We're then going to reach the left heel of the hand forwards with the fingertips lifted. Okay, you are going to look to your front. On the breath out, you're going to hinge the weight of your hips back, relax your chest down towards the mat and your head, and lift your fingertips on that front hand even higher. So the place that we want to be feeling this stretch, ideally, is sort of through the lat muscle, so through the side and the shoulder. So just take a couple of breaths into that stretch. See how that feels for you, your shoulders and your spine. And then come back up and switch hands. So this time place the right hand out on the heel of the hand. Keep the shoulders square. When you're ready, exhale, hinge the weight of the hips back towards the heels, but keep pushing forward with the heel of the hand and lifting the fingertips. So you might feel lots of different stretches around the shoulder girdle. Just be gentle. If there's any pain, you can always come up. One more nice deep breath in and out. And then come up. So that's a really nice one to open up through those lats that get quite tight. Okay, threading the needle. We're going to do 4 threading the needles on the right hand side. And the last time, if you just watch, you're going to soften, and the option is going to be to hold our threading the needle stretch a bit deeper. Okay, so you might want to take your knees a little bit wider, or maybe that's just me, but you're going to post the arm through on that last one, and then you're going to take your other arm in front, and we're going to hold the stretch. Okay, so if I just demo that the other way, after you're doing your 4th, you're going to post through, so shoulder comes down, arm comes in front, head relaxes, and we hold that stretch. Okay, so let's start with our right arm for 3 plain and the 4th one ending in that extended stretch. So we're going to inhale to open the right arm, exhale to soften in the knees and the hips, and just thread through into your usual threading the needle. So not all the way down with the back of that right shoulder, just that twist. 2 more, just nice and gently taking this dynamic stretch into thoracic rotation. So 1 more plain. And then this last one, we're going to open out on the breath in. And on the breath out, if you can, you're going to soften to take the back of your right shoulder to the mat, if you can. Relax your head down. And once your head's relaxed, walk the left hand forwards, press down through the palm of the hand, and press down through your right fingertip. So if I'm here, both my hands are pressing into the mat. And I'm feeling just how that creates that stretch through my shoulder girdle, through my spine, through my waist. Do come up if you need to. Take a couple more breaths. And then what you need to do is bring that front hand in underneath the shoulder and then push up from there. And we'll do it all on the other side. So left arm now or right, whichever way you didn't go. Inhaling up to look up and open the chest. Exhale to thread that through. So 2 more, just completely plain. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread through. 1 more plain. Inhale and open, looking up, opening the chest, opening the arm. Exhale, thread. Now this last time we're going to finish with our extended thread to come in and try and place the side of the arm that threads through the back of that left shoulder down. Softly, 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 slowly. And then take the right arm forward, so that's stretching ahead, pressing into the floor with the palm of the hand. The hand that's threaded through, it's the back of the hand that's pressing into the mat. And we're breathing there. If that's too much, come up if you need to. And after that second breath, bend in the front arm so it comes underneath you, and then push up from there. And we're back to 4-point kneeling position. Okay, let's do a little bit of a push-up exercise from here. So if you've had your toes tucked, untuck them again. Okay, push-ups, this next series can either be done from a 4-point kneeling position, keeping the bottom high and the elbows nice and wide. Otherwise, if you want to, you can walk forwards into a 3/4 plank, take the arms slightly wider, soften the shoulders, and really scoop up with the core. So it's up to you where you start. We're going to lower down for 3 as we breathe in and push up for 4. So we're going to lower down 1, 2, 3, breathe out, push up on 4. And again, lower 1, 2, 3, breathe out, push up on 4. Again, 2 more rounds this way. So we're staggering the lower and we're pushing up in 1. Last one this way, and then we're going to reverse it. So we're going to lower down in 1 this time and push up 2, 3, 4. Lower down in 1, push up 2, 3, 4. And again, lower down in 1. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last time, lower down in 1, push up 2, 3, 4. Let's just sit back to child's pose in between this and the next arm exercise. Either with the arms forwards or the arms behind, I don't mind which one. Just soften the head, take a couple of breaths. Give those wrists and those hands a little bit of a shake or a circle if they're feeling a little bit tight. And then bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Push back up, and we're going to do a slightly different variation. For 8 repetitions, we are going to lower down, left, right, and then lift up, left, right. Keeping the core nice and solid, and there's minimal movement in the rest of the body. Again, this can be done from 4-point or 3/4 plank to work that little bit harder. Okay, so go to 3/4 plank if you want to. We're going to lower down, left, right, and then step back up, left, right. So you come down to forearm, hands to fists, and then you press back up again. Good, so go for 3rd rep. So we're going to go for 8 full repetitions. That's it. So we're stepping down and up. Just gradually working those arms. It doesn't feel like we're doing a huge amount to start with, but I promise you, you'll start to feel all those arms and shoulders start to work, especially if you're in that 3/4 plank as well. Just be careful, keep the core really switched on and the hips nice and steady. After you've done your last set, so I think we've probably got 1 more to do, if I've counted right. Let's again, on the exhale, sit back into child's pose. Or you could just come back to seated and shake out those hands and maybe take a couple of shoulder rolls, whichever works best for you. And then we're just going to take a basic stretch. We're taking one arm across the chest and the other underneath. So just wherever you are, take that tricep stretch. Keeping your shoulders square, try not to rotate and release down, and just do that gently the other side. Making sure that you're not pressing on the elbow joint itself, either be slightly below or slightly above the elbow. And relax down, good. Back to 4-point kneeling. We're going to repeat from Monday's session our little glute series, our glute max series, to try and really work into the biggest of our bottom muscles and work hip extension. So from 4-point, let's glue the core in, keep the shoulders down, and extend the right leg behind us. The right foot is on the mat, the leg's nice and long, and the hips and the shoulders are balanced. We're going to breathe in here. As we breathe out, we're going to lengthen and lift, no higher than parallel with the hips. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. I'm just going to shimmy forward so I'm not kicking that side butt. Good. So really keep the hips nice and still. You're taking that leg directly behind you and up, but you're thinking of someone pulling your foot from behind you. So your leg gets longer as you lift it and as you lower it. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This time you're going to lift and hold the height of the thigh. Imagine I put a stick underneath your knee so the thigh can't drop, but bend your knee in and then extend away. So don't let, as you bend that knee, don't let the height of the thigh drop. Imagine someone's got their hand underneath the front of that right thigh. 4 more. Inhaling, exhaling away. Inhale, bend, exhale, extend. Keep the height of that thigh and the level of your hips. This time you're going to bend in to 90, flex the heel. Imagine you've got a stamp on your heel and you're going to stamp the roof. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, don't let the back arch. 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften down. Good, just in the middle, give those hips a little bit of a shake, maybe a couple of gentle pelvic circles, and then we'll go on the other side. So left leg or the other side that you didn't use. Shoulders soft, looking slightly ahead of your mat so that you've not just dropped your head. Extend the leg behind, but keep the hips parallel. Inhaling with the leg down, exhale, lift it directly behind and lengthen it as much as you can. Inhale, lower. So this is leg lift prone. Inhale, lower. Soften the shoulders and the elbows. Don't arch the back. So don't let any excessive movement of the body happen as you're lifting and lengthening. You should be able to put a tray of your favourite drinks on your back and not spill any of those drinks. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time we're going to lift. We're going to keep the height of that back thigh, but we're going to bend the knee in, and then we're going to exhale and extend it away. So imagine someone's put a stick underneath the knee on the extended leg, and as you fold heel to bottom, you can't lower that thigh. That's it. 3 more. Inhale, flex. Exhale, lengthen from the crown of the head. Don't arch the back. 1 more time. And then we're going to fold the knee in to 90 degrees, flex the foot. Stamp is on our left heel this time. We're going to stamp the ceiling slowly for 10, 9. That movement's coming from the hip. 7, 6. Feel the hamstrings. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it back down. Good. And let's sit back into child's pose. Again, with the arms forwards or the arms behind, completely up to you. Take a couple of breaths into child's pose. Breathe in deeply into the lower back. And then come back up to the 4 point when you're ready and just take a couple more of those nice little pelvic circles. So you're almost sort of transferring your weight into your hands and then back towards your knees as you circle the hips. And then take a few of those the other way. And it should feel quite nice just to kind of wiggle off and release off through the pelvis. Good. Okay. Just come and sit round to the front for me. So this next little series that we're going to do, you have the option to use your band now. So if you've got a big bit of resistance band, try and make it into a loop that is going to be small enough to go around your ankles. Or if you've got your ready-made band, you can pop that on. Okay, if you don't have a resistance band, just ignore this bit because you can do it all without. So the resistance band is going to go around our ankles, and the reason it's going around our ankles is so that that challenge is further away from the midline of the body. So the lever is longer, which is going to work our glutes more. Okay, so once you've got your band or your resistance band tied around your ankles, we're going to come down onto our right hand side. For the first few, it's more about upper body, so once the band's there, just relax the legs and come down onto a flat right arm if you can. Okay, knees are bent, ankles are together and hips are stacked. Top hand is going to bend at the elbow and just touch the top of your shoulder. If you need to put a cushion or a block in between head and shoulder on that underneath side. When you're ready, we're just going to do some elbow and shoulder rolls with this top arm. Okay, so just coming into that when you guys are ready. And we're just keeping the elbow bent on purpose so we're not putting too much strain on the shoulder. And just make those circles as big or as small as feels right for you. And just explore that movement. Is there any part of that circle where you're getting a bit of a stiffness or a clunking or a clicking or somewhere it doesn't want to go? And then just change those circles the other way and have a little play the other way. But try and keep the hand on the top of the shoulder if you can. And if it doesn't quite go flush to the shoulder, just keep the elbow slightly bent. Just do one more that way. And then we're going to do our open book, close book. So if you've had a pillow or a block here, you're going to put it underneath your head and bring both arms forwards. So the palm of the hands are together, the hips are stacked, and now I want you to imagine I've super glued your knees together. Okay, we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to keep the arms straight. We're going to open the top arm and we're going to follow it with our eye line until we come into rotation towards the back. Squeeze your knees, inhale, hold, and then exhale, close that page of the book. Okay, so the arm is opening on the exhale. We're following our hand with our eye line so that we open our head and rotate, squeezing the knees, and then lower. Do 3 more of those. So open book, close book. So our upper body is rotating over our lower body, but I'm keeping my knees squeezed together so that I don't let my hips rotate with me. So just do 1 more. And then close the hands back down. We're then going to take chalk circles. We're going to imagine in our top fingertips, we've got a piece of chalk. We're going to keep the elbow and the shoulder soft, and we're going to trace a line round our head, over to the other side, which opens us out slightly. Keep touching the floor if you can to lower that chalk circle down over the hip and come back to where you started. So can you do that full circumduction of the shoulder and the arm, involving that little open out to thoracic rotation, imagining that you're drawing that circle with chalk up above the head, open out gently and down and round again. And just do 1 more of those. So keep that movement nice and slow, keep the shoulders soft, bend the arm whenever you need to, reduce that range of movement wherever you need to. And then after that last one, we're going to come up onto our elbow and our forearm and place the hand underneath the head. Okay, and then from here, 2 options. You've got your band around your legs. You can either just extend the top leg away to hip width, down onto the mat, or you can extend both legs. So you've got your ankles together and your stability is therefore challenged a little bit harder with both legs straight. If you need the top hand on the mat, which probably most of us will, just place it there. Shoulders down, really glue your core. So legs are parallel, feet, knees and toes facing forwards. Okay, we're going to breathe out and we're going to squeeze and we're going to lift the leg, pulling the band apart, and then inhale, lower. So we're just doing side leg abduction. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Make sure your heel is in line with your bottom and that you've not brought that leg too far forwards. You could have a slight internal rotation on that top leg as well. So knee and toes could face down a little bit more and heel could lift up. Do 2 more. Exhaling to lift. Inhale to lower. 1 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Now we're going to mix this one up because we're going to lift in 3. 1, 2, 3, and close in 1. And then we're going to reverse it and we're going to lift in 1 and close 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to do, we'll do 5 of each. Okay, so let's do our lift in 3, close in 1. 1, 2, 3, and close on 4. 1, 2, 3, pause, close on 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, close down on 4. 1, 2, 3, close down on 4. Last rep, number 5. 1, 2, 3, close down on 4. Straight into lift for the 1, close down 2, 3, 4. Lift on the 1, close down 2, 3, 4, 3 more. 2, that's it. And last one. Okay, after this last one, we're going to lift to hip width. Whether you've got the band or not, we're going to take 8 circles backwards. 7, keeping the tension on the band if you have a band. Otherwise, just keep the leg at hip width. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the leg still and let's pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just relax that leg down for a second. Okay, give that top hip a little bit of a rub. Now, if you've got your underneath leg bent, you now need to straighten it. Okay, and then can we keep the band on? Probably I'd take the band off for this next one, annoyingly. And then if you haven't had 2 legs straight already, straighten both legs. Top leg is going to bend and we're going to place the foot on the mat in front of us. And then we're going to straighten our underneath leg even more and flex our foot. So we're pushing the heel away from us. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to lift that underneath leg off. Inhale, we're going to lower it down. Exhale. So we're now working the adductor group on that underneath leg. 6 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So really push through that underneath heel. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. If it's hard having this leg in front, you could always take that leg behind you. Just don't let the hips rock back too much. Good. 3 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 1 more. And then we're going to hold it there and we're going to circle for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower that down. Let's bring both knees in. Heel of the top hand just gives that glute a little bit of a rub. Okay, coming up and out, staying on that right hip. Let's come into seated mermaid. So we're holding the top ankle, or we're taking the top leg behind us, and we're going to come up and over into our seated mermaid stretch. And breathe. Take a couple of nice deep breaths there. And we're going to do it all on the other side. Okay, so wiggling those feet round the front to come down onto your second side. Pop your band on again if you're using your band before you come down, round the ankles. Okay, so whatever you need to make yourself comfortable, maybe put a pillow or a block in between shoulder and head on this side. Knees are bent, feet are together, hips are stacked, top hands onto the shoulder girdle. Keep your eye line forwards and just take some nice circles. Imagining that you've got a bit of paint on the tip of your elbow and you are drawing those big circles. And again, just listen to this other shoulder and through the front of the chest as well. How does it feel in every single part of that circle? And then change those circles and go the other way when you're ready. And do 4 or 5 the other way. And that's it. See if you've got the same range of movement or any particular niggles or tight bits during that circle as you did on the other side, or maybe not. Okay, and this time, once you've done your last circle, put the block or the pillow underneath the head if you have one, and put both arms out in front of you. So it might be nice if you feel your head is sort of hanging in no man's land, like mine does a little bit. Pop something underneath. So we've got open but closed, but keep those knees squeezed together so that when we open, we're not going to twist in the hips. So we're inhaling with the hands together, exhale, open that top arm. Follow the hand with your eye line so that you open your chest. Inhale, stop at your barrier, and exhale, come back. So don't force that range of movement. Just go to where you feel comfortable. So for some of you, you might feel quite an intense stretch through the pectorals and the front of the arm, just opening here, and that's fine. Good, do 3 more of those. So exhale as we open the top arm, slowly squeeze the knees together to keep the hips stacked. Inhaling to hold that stretch, exhale to come down. Squeeze the knees, don't let those hips rotate with you. One last time, and then we've got chalk circles for 6. And close down. So this time when you come back to center, imagine that you're holding in between your fingertips a piece of chalk, and you're going to draw slowly that circle around your head, out. It's going to open you into that thoracic rotation again. You're going to complete the circle, trying to keep the hand on the floor, back in towards the body and over the hip. So for those of you that have reduced movement in the shoulder, just be really careful with this one. And if this is not feeling good, take the hand back to the shoulder and just take those elbow circumductions that we did at the start. Otherwise, you're allowing your full body to rotate as you take those imaginary chalk circles, and we're doing 6 in total. So just keep the breath nice and fluid, nice and soft as you're opening out and rotating, and as you're coming back. That's it. We've got 2 more of those. And that's it. Smoothly and softly allowing that movement. And again, just really paying attention to those areas of movements where you might get that little bit of stickiness, whether it's in the shoulders, the spine, the head, the neck, the hips. And after this last one, you're going to remove the block behind your head, bring your hand to your head, and so you're now on your elbow. If that isn't comfortable, you can always stay down. Okay, so either underneath leg stays bent and just the top leg extends, keeping the leg parallel and flexing the foot, or we extend both legs. So hips, knees and ankles are stacked completely parallel to the front. Top hand for support, using your core to lift up and out. Okay, on the exhale, we're going to squeeze and lift that top leg. Inhale, we're going to lower it down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. So we're just doing plain side leg abduction. So a really good one. When we were in 4-point kneeling, we were working more the back of the glutes into glute max. And now we're recruiting into these abductors of the hip. So these are often the ones that we neglect in everyday life and don't quite get strong enough. And then it really stops that support of the pelvis, the spine and the knees. So glute med, any side leg abduction is just a fab one to do. If you were to choose one, I'd just do this one. 2 more, exhaling lift, inhale down. 1 more, and then we're going to stagger it. Okay, so we're going to do 5, lifting for 3 and lowering on 4. So we lift 1, 2, 3, small hold, exhale 4. 1, 2, 3, and lower down. 2 more this way. Really push through the heel on that top leg, because if you're trying to send your leg away from you as you lift it. This time we're going to lift up in 1, hold, and we're going to lower down 2, 3, 4. Lift up in 1, hold, lower 2, 3, 4. So obviously if you've got your band, you've got an extra little bit of resistance, and if you haven't, it doesn't matter, you're probably still feeling it. So 1 more time, lifting up, lowering down 2, 3, 4, and then this time we're going to lift to hip width. Maybe slightly internally rotate that top leg, line the heel up with your bottom, keep the core strong, and we're going to circle back for 8, and 7, and 6, lengthen through the heel, 5, 4, feel the burn, 3, you'll probably feel it on your underneath side as well, that's normal, forward to 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, oh, release down. For a moment, just bend both knees, maybe give that top hip a little bit of a rub. And then we're going to do our adductor work, so inner thigh work. So take the loop off the legs if you can. Okay, and then we're all going to extend both legs. Top leg is going to slightly externally rotate, so you can bring the foot in front of the underneath leg so the foot is flat. If that's too difficult, take the leg behind, but try not to let that swing the hips to face you to the ceiling. Keep stacked. Okay, bring that foot in. So just adjust that position where you need to, and then lengthen your underneath leg like mad and flex the foot. Inhaling there, exhale, you're going to lift the underneath leg, and inhale, lower it down. I feel much stronger on this side. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So notice those little changes yourself. Doesn't need to be a big lift. It could just be more of a push and a lower. 4 more. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. 1 more. And then we're going to hold and we're going to circle it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, bend both knees in. Give that top hip another bit of a, I'm sorry I've worked you, but I'm not sorry. And then come up onto that left hip for our seated mermaid this way. So gently holding onto the top ankle and taking the other arm over, softening the eye line down. Otherwise, gently swing that top leg behind you and hold the top knee and come into it in an open position there. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths. And then open back. And from there, we're going to come into some hip mobility. So we're going to come and sit without the block, with our knees bent, our feet out in front of us in this very ladylike position here, with our arms and our hands slightly behind the hips. So if I just face the side, you're sort of back on your arms with softness in your elbows and a nice open chest. Quick time check. Okay. So mobilizing through the hips. I want you to breathe in the center. As you breathe out, I want you to fold both legs down towards the right hand side. You can let this hip lift off a little bit, but try and keep the shoulders square. Inhaling in the center, exhale, go the other way. And just notice, we're going to do 6 more of these, how your hips feel as you move the legs down each way. So I know for me, I've got much more internal rotation on this left side, whereas when I come to lower this leg down and in, I feel much more of a stretch up through my quad or my hip flexor. So don't force any movement, just keep it nice and gentle, and just notice how your legs feel. So one is in external rotation, and one is in internal rotation. 1 more either way. And then this time, as we bring our legs up through the center, we're going to keep them moving towards the left, and we're going to open to come into a seated 90-90 position or hurdler position. Now, if this position is difficult for you and you really feel your weight sinking into that supporting hip, if you have a cushion or a block, pop it underneath the hip on that front side. So for me, I'm going to pop it underneath that left hip, and it might help you sit a little bit taller. Okay. From there, we're either going to place, if we're up and the knee is off the mat on the front, we're going to put our hand underneath that front knee. If you are down on the mat, you're going to press the front of your right forwards knee into the mat. So we're going to do a little isometric contraction. So you're going to push the side of that front knee down and into the mat, or if you're on the block, into your hand. So resist pressing. We're pressing into external rotation, either against the mat or against the hand. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the leg. Inhale, go tall with the spine. Exhale, let's fold the body over. Slightly, softening in the shoulders and the head, and come into that opening hip and glute stretch. And then from there, again, press the side of the knee and the shin on that front leg into the mat. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a nice deep breath in, come up slightly. Exhale, let's go down soft again. Can we go a little bit further over that leg? And don't sort of nose dive, nose down to knee. Keep the chest slightly lifted and try and fold in the hips. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here, and then we're going to come up and do this on the other side. So we're going to gently unfold from here. We're going to gently unwind those hips to come back in the center. Just extend the legs for a second, give the knees a little shake. Oh, my whole room's shaking. And then just wiggle those hips and let those legs sort of rotate naturally. And then we're going to do that the other side. So bend those knees in again. And this time we're going to fold to the other side to open into our 90-90. And if you need to, if you're really struggling in that position, oh, if I could reach it, get your block or your pillow and pop it underneath that front hip. And it will help you with these stretches. Okay, so either hand underneath the front knee to the side, or if you're off your block, you're going to press the side of that front knee down and into the mat. Lengthening the spine, pressing into hand or floor for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a nice deep breath in, and as we breathe out, take the hands slightly forwards, keep the chest lifted, and fold and come over that front glute. Relax chin to chest, breathe, keep the shoulders soft. And then we're going to do that press again. So front knee outside of shin, pressing down into the mat, or you come slightly further up, you've placed your hand under the knee and you're pressing your knee down into your hand. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a nice deep breath in. Don't nose dive down, fold in the hips, and let's come a little bit further over the body. Good. Take a couple of breaths. See if you can go that a little bit further this time. And then coming up and out of that, bring those knees back to centre, fold the legs in. We're going to come to a high kneeling position now. And this is where you might want to get your chunky blocks. So we're just going to come and do the hip flexor and the hamstring stretch with our blocks or our books, or just with our hands. So if you've got blocks, you're going to put them out in front of you slightly on the thinner edge, so they're a little bit higher. Okay, and then you're going to step the left leg forwards just to a high kneeling square position. Without the blocks, you're just going to have your hands here ready to lower the hands. Okay, so we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to bend into that front knee, lower the hands down to the floor, either side of the foot or the hands to the block. Allow the pelvis to sink down, keep the shoulders soft, and lengthen through the crown of the head. If you need to, you might need to slide that back knee a little bit further away, so you can really open through the hips, keep the shoulders soft, and take a couple of breaths. So particularly if you've got your hands down on the mat, try not to hunch in those shoulders. Keep the shoulders soft. One more breath in there. Then we're going to come up through the centre. If you've got your blocks, you need to move them with you. You're going to keep the weight going back to straighten that front leg, lift the heels off, flex through the heel, and then tilt the pelvis forward, so you're almost sticking out your bottom there. And if you want to increase that stretch, pivot on the front heel to rotate the thigh bone inwards and outwards to get a bit more stretch through that hamstring. Keeping the weight sending backwards, shoulders soft, breath nice and relaxed. So you might just be completely static there. Little micro bend in that front knee, you don't need to lock it out. And one more time either way. So bending into the front leg, coming forwards, moving those blocks or books to help you soften the shoulders, lengthen from the crown of the head. 2 nice deep breaths. And then walking back. This time, if you're comfortable, you have your hands down. You might want to step that back foot slightly further in and come to a straight legged position and then lift the front toes. So you might want to come in sort of more of a standing hamstring stretch if you can. Otherwise, you're doing exactly the same one with that knee planted and just tilting the pelvis forwards. Couple of breaths here. Good. From there, come back up to high kneeling. You can keep the blocks. Just take the leg a little bit wider, as if you're going to go to that front diagonal with your front leg. So you've opened up the hips a little bit more. Hands on the blocks or the floor. I just want you to circle those hips round 5 or 6 times clockwise. So just mobilising out through the pelvis and the hips, and then we're going to do the whole thing on the second side. So after this last one, I'm going to bring that front leg in. I'm going to do the whole series on that second side. So other leg forwards, blocks or hands to go down, and we're going to soften into that front knee. Keeping the front heel on. If it does lift, it's not the end of the world. Soft shoulders, long neck, breathe. Slide the knee back a little bit further away from you if you're not getting that stretch through the front of the left hip. And then we're going to walk the blocks into centre with us, take our weight behind us, send the hips back, tilt the pelvis forwards and lift the toes off. So obviously if you've not got your blocks, you're probably just here. Lifting those toes, finding that anterior tilt in the pelvis, and maybe pivot on that front heel to rotate your whole leg from the hip socket outwards and inwards, just to test those hamstrings. See how that stretch feels. 2 more times, and then we're going to come back forwards into our hip flexor release. Okay, so soften the shoulders, grow tall in the spine. Breathe. And then this time, if you want to, you can tuck the underneath foot, squeeze your core, and you can lift the hips off to straight legs. Bring that back foot in slightly, lift off the front heel, so you'd be here, and then just relax the leg forwards and down, soften the head. So you can either do the one we did before, where we just hinge the hips back and keep that back leg knee on the floor, or you can come to this standing hamstring release if that feels nicer for you. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. And then those that have been up, we're going to lower back down, or we're going to come back to center. Open that front leg, lower the hands in front, and just take those hip circles the other way. So 5 times. So I'm sort of stirring my bowl, going outwards, away from me and back in. And then we're just going to do 2 variations of downward dog to finish with. So we're going to bring the knees back underneath the hips to a 4-point kneeling position. And 2 options. We can either tuck the toes under, and on the breath out, we're just going to keep the knees bent and bring the tummy back towards the thighs. Walk the hands forwards and then drop the head down. So you can either be in sort of a half downward dog, or you can lift those hips and come into full downward dog for me. So from 4-point kneeling, tucking the toes, breathing in, shoulders soft. Squeeze your core to lift the knees off, and either keep the knees and the hips bent and just hinge the weight back so both knees stay bent. Walk the hands forwards, plant through the palms and drop the head in line. Otherwise, on the exhale, you've lifted your hips up. Don't worry if your heels don't plant all the way down. Really think about rotating the pelvis forwards, lifting the hip bones high, relaxing the head and breathing nice and deeply. Those that are in full downward dog, if you want to kind of pulse through one heel and let that natural sort of twist in the hips happen as you're in downward dog, let that happen another 4 times. Otherwise, take some slow inhalations and exhalations. Really lifting those hips up towards the ceiling, keeping those knees slightly soft or the heels lifted if you need to. And then lower the knees back down. Come back up into a high kneeling position. Both hands are going to link in front of you, and you're going to push the palm of the hands away from you. As you keep knees over hips, you're going to tuck your tailbone underneath and round the shoulders. So we're really opening through the mid-back, the upper back. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here, tucking your tailbone underneath you to really create that stretch. And then come up, place the hands on the mid-back this time. Keep the shoulders down, elbows drawn together. Without arching the back, think of going upwards with the chest and slightly back. So we've got very gentle extension, but it's more of the chest just opening. And one more time either way. Exhale, push the hands forwards, chin to chest, tuck your tailbone underneath. That's it, and then come back up, place the hands onto the lower back, shoulders down, elbows drawn together, and lift the chin and the chest through. Okay, coming down, either sit on the mat or put your block or your cushion underneath. Just bring the soles of those feet together. I'm just going to hold around the ankles, and we're just going to gently rock our pelvis side to side. So just let the freedom of those hips happen, so we're almost sort of massaging out through our sit bones. Doesn't sound very appealing, does it? And then come back to stillness. A little isometric of your adductors. Bring your elbows to your inside knees if you can, and hands together. And we're going to push up with the knees and resist out with the elbows. So we've got that static contraction of the inner thigh muscles. So push up as much as you can with the knees, out with the elbows, but keep the shoulders soft. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just let that rock happen. And if you can, try and sort of press either leg down with those elbows, if you can. Otherwise, just do a rock. And then do one more of those elbows, sit in a knee crease, hands together, squeezing up with the knees, resisting out with the elbows, shoulders stay soft, length from the crown of the neck, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale, little rock, or try to press those legs out a little bit more. And we're just going to do a forward fold of your choice to end with. So either just extend the feet slightly, keep the knees bent and open here, and you can take your exhale and fold forwards. Or you might want to extend the legs in front and take sort of more of a hamstring stretch forwards. Or you might want to open those legs and take a gentle forward stretch forwards here. So whichever one feels best for you, make sure you lengthen the spine first. And when you come forwards, don't just nose dive down, folding the hips and then relax the head and the chest once you come into maximal flexion. So wherever you are, that same rule applies, folding the hips first and then soften the head and the neck down. And just stay in that stretch for 2 or 3 nice deep breaths. And this will be our last stretch. One more nice deep breath in. And then just come back up to